All I have to say, Wesley, is BYU.
Are you talking about the news today or the game tomorrow? Because on the eve of one of their biggest games of the year, BYU got some of the biggest news in decades. As we told you earlier in this newscast, BYU is one of 4 teams that was invited to join the Big 12 Conference. That move will happen in the 2023-2024 season, so the Cougars will be playing the Big 12 football in the fall of 2023. It's a big-time move for BYU, joining a Power 5 conference after 11 years of independence so far. And we talked about what it would mean to the school earlier, but it means even more to the athletic department and will obviously change the landscape of BYU sports.
Congratulations, Cougar Nation. It's been a long time coming, and here we are.
It was the worst-kept secret for Cougar fans, but they found out today that BYU officially accepted the invitation to join the Big 12 Conference. Now the work begins to undo some of the schedules that had been set up for the future to make room for a Power 5 conference schedule. But Homo said there was a clause in all the contracts that he did to provide a way out if and when BYU joined a P5 conference.
We'll have to unwind some of those contracts. Those games, I think, we'll be able to unwind. People will want to get out of some, will want to get out of some, but we're going to want to keep some of these games that we've contracted. It'll be a conversation between me and Kalani to determine whether or not we want to keep some of those games as non-conference games.
One of those games in question is the Utah game. Tomorrow's contest will be the last one for a couple of years, and the two schools will need to sit down and figure out the future of the rivalry game going forward.
Being now in 2 separate conferences in football, not being independent, we'll have needs and desires like Utah has had as a member of the Pac-12. I have not yet talked to Mark Harlan at Utah formally, so we will get together in the next near and discuss those. Those are discussions I look forward to having so that we can answer that question between BYU and Utah.
So after tomorrow night's game, they're off for a couple of years, which was already scheduled. Then they have some games locked in, but some of those games may or may not take place now because maybe the Big 12 Conference will say, hey, you can only play out-of-conference games during this set amount of time, and Utah might have schedules. Same thing with Utah and the Pac-12. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Yeah. But this is interesting because when Texas and Oklahoma leave the Big 12 Conference, BYU will have the biggest football stadium in the conference, and they already have the largest basketball arena in the Big 12 Conference. So they will be a player in that conference. And how great for basketball because you've got Baylor, the national champion. You've got Kansas, a perennial top 10 team coming each year to the Marriott Center. So it's going to be awesome. Yeah.